Next we will see the effects, that what will be the effect when we are going to use these. First is the diuretic effect. So this is very important to note that they are weak diuretics. Now why they are called weak diuretics? Because actually what happens that you have seen that they are affecting bicarbonate ion, but actually chloride is the major anion in the plasma, not the bicarbonate ion. So chloride ion is the preponderant anion in the plasma and then in the glomerular filtrate, and they are not affecting the sodium chloride reabsorption. So only a small fraction of sodium reabsorption will be affected in the form of sodium bicarbonate. So they have a weak diuretic effect and they will called mild diuresis. Next comes the effect on the ion excretion. So we have seen in the mechanism of action that they will increase bicarbonate excretion, and what happens that when more sodium will be presented to the fluid in the collecting tubules, more potassium will be exchanged for it, so they also call potassium wasting. So both bicarbonate and potassium excretion will be increased. Next comes the effect in the eyes, which is on the aqueous humor production. So what happens that I have told you that they are going to affect the bicarbonate secretion in the aqueous humor, in the ciliary body, in the eyes. So aqueous humor production and its rate of flow is going to be decreased. So this will have the effect in lowering the intraocular pressure, and therefore they are going to be used in glaucoma management. So they will decrease the aqueous humor production. Next comes the effect on the brain in the choroid plexus, where they are involved in the inhibition of bicarbonate secretion in the CSF. So what will happen? Ultimately CSF production will be decreased. So they will lower the CSF production and they will lower the intracranial pressure as well. So they will decrease the CSF production. So to summarize, they are mild diuretics, they are going to increase bicarbonate and potassium excretion in the urine, and they are going to decrease the aqueous humor production as well as CSF production. So these were the overall effects of using carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. Now let us see their use in the medical purposes. So first will be their use as diuretic. We have seen that they are going to produce a weaker diuretic effect, so they are not preferred diuretics and they will be used for this purpose only if edema is accompanied by alkalosis, because they will counteract the alkalosis by producing metabolic acidosis through bicarbonate excretion. Next comes their use in glaucoma management. Regarding glaucoma, we should keep in mind that they are available to be used in topical as well as systemic forms. So, and if they are required for acute open angle glaucoma or acute closed angle glaucoma, we can use them IV in acute conditions, but for chronic use we can use them topically as ophthalmic solutions. So they are used for management of glaucoma as ophthalmic solutions by oral route as tablets or by IV route, depending whether it is acute or it is chronic. So they can be used for both acute as well as chronic glaucoma because they are going to reduce the aqueous humor production and they will decrease the intraocular pressure. Next comes their role in epilepsy management. We have seen that they are affecting the brain, so they are used for tonic-clonic generalized or absence fits. So this is important that they can be used for epilepsy management also. But this use is not very common. Next comes their management for mountain sickness. What happens that whenever we go to high altitude, there occurs respiratory alkalosis due to hyperventilation. So for this purpose, these diuretics will be given prophylactically. So carbonic anhydrase inhibitors are given prophylactically to reduce the mountain sickness because they will cause renal compensation for the respiratory alkalosis, and this will lessen or this will prevent the symptoms of mountain sickness. Next comes pseudotumor cerebri. So they can also be used for this purpose, and an additional use is for the management of benign intracranial hypertension. And why they are going to be used? Because they are affecting the brain, they are affecting the CSF production, and they are affecting the intracranial CSF pressure also. So, as diuretic for glaucoma management, for epilepsy management, mountain sickness prophylaxis, and for pseudotumor cerebri or intracranial hypertension, we can use carbonic anhydrase inhibitors effectively.